Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everybody. To those of you who are new, welcome to my class and welcome to Tavis too. Now, today we are going to be doing another part of your English SPM paper, and we'll be covering on speaking for today. Um, Now, when it comes to speaking, I'm sure that a lot of you will feel quite loss of words, okay? Or we call it as speechless sometimes, right? Speechless sometimes when you receive a question. But today we are going to look closely at how you can try to attempt in responding to whatever questions given by the interlocutor. All right. Now let's begin first of all. Okay, I hope that you had your breakfast. Have you had your breakfast? No Fatiha? Hokmei? Yeah, you had? Okay, good, very good. Okay, now let's begin with our session today. We are going to be looking at the tips and the tricks on how to speak better English. And we are going to also review a little bit. Okay, I'm sure that most of you will say, oh, no, teacher, no grammar. Okay, but we have to. Okay, we have to try and review and revise the correct usage of grammar and vocabulary as well. Although in our previous classes, I've already um, guided you, right? Guided you with some of the useful words, some useful adjectives that you can use in order for you to be from a an A1 speaker or A2 speaker to maybe a B1 or B2. Or if you are proficient enough, if you are like a native, okay, you speak like how the native speaks, then you would get a C1 or to be at that level, C1 or C2 level. That is considered advanced. All right. Okay, good enough. Okay, thank you, Hong, for responding. Okay, good enough that everybody had their breakfast. Okay, first of all, I always like to begin with a quote. So, here from this lovely lady, her name is Eleanor Roosevelt. So, she said, speak your mind even though your voice shakes. All right. Now, what is she trying to say is just speak it out. Just talk it out as long as you know what you want to talk about. And you know that your voice can shake sometimes because maybe you're nervous, right? But whatever ideas that you have, but as long as you're on the right path, okay, following to the right question from whatever the interlocutor asked, make sure that you answer it really clearly and really well as well. Okay. Now, what do you know about your speaking paper? Now, what do you know about your speaking paper? Anybody can share with me? Anybody? What do you know about your speaking paper? You can type in the room chat. Yeah, what do you know about your speaking paper? It's coming up, right? When is it coming up? Yep. When is it coming up? In a week's time, right? In a week's time. So it will start on the 22nd. Am I right? Oh no, everybody shy again. Okay, so your speaking will begin a little later than your listening. Your listening will begin on the 21st, and your speaking will begin on the 22nd until the 24th. So whichever day that you fall, you have to go and attend. Okay, now have you got a partner yet for your speaking? Have you got a partner yet? Have you got a comparable partner? a suitable one. I hope that you have, because it's going to be very helpful for you when it comes to the later part of speaking. All right. So let's see, what do we have for the speaking paper or the speaking test? Okay. Now, as you all know, the requirements for your speaking overall is 13 minutes. Okay, so your speaking test will last for 13 minutes only. Okay, although a lot of you will say it's very short, teacher. Yes, I know it's very short, but you try and provide quality. Okay, quality responses. All right, because they are going to look at your words. They are going to focus on your words. They are going to focus on how you are responding as well. It's not about the length. Okay, we are not talking about how long you can talk. Okay, no, we are going to focus on the quality of the content that you are asked about. Okay, so as you all know, for your speaking, it will be divided into three parts. First of all, you will have an interview session, and this is to be spent about 2 to 3 minutes. And later on, for your part two, you will have an individual long turn. Now, for this one, you have to speak on your own. All right, you have to speak on your own on a given topic with some of the short notes, and then that one you will have to take about 20 seconds, right? Around 20 seconds to speak, and to spend about 3 to 4 minutes for you to explain as well. Okay, and then for the part three, this is a pair discussion. All right. So you with your partner are to spend about 4 to 5 minutes to speak, to discuss with one another, and to try and speak out whatever ideas that is considered appropriate enough for whatever topic that you are given on that particular day. Okay. Please don't ask your friends, and please don't ask your friends who have done before, hey, what's your topic? And because that's going to make you more nervous. So try not to, um, meddle the other topics with with whatever responses that you have memorized, or whatever responses that you have prepared. So don't go and ask anybody. Okay, that's going to make you a lot more nervous. All right, now we shall move on to our part one. Now, what is part one again? So, part one is interview session, and this is only an icebreaker. Now, what is an icebreaker? Is it to break the ice? Yeah, it's to break the ice. Because yourself, you are so nervous, maybe you're not so comfortable in speaking to the interlocutor, right? So what they will do is they try to make you as comfy as possible. They will make you calm as possible. So what will they ask you, right? What will they ask you? So let's take a look. What will they ask? All right. Now, for part one, it's divided into two phases. Okay, so two phases. You will have one part, okay, or one phase that will focus on the general questions about your personal details. Okay, so they will greet you first. Okay, make sure you reply. Okay, make sure you respond to the greeting. So if, let's say, she or he said good morning, please greet them back saying good morning, sir, or good morning, miss. Okay, so please respond to the greeting. And what are the questions they will ask? So you can see a lot will be about you. Okay, so they will focus on your name. So they will ask, what's your name? And they will ask you, where do you live, or where do you come from? Where do you stay? All right. And they will also ask about how did you come to school, or how do you come to school today? And they will ask for, if let's say you didn't provide a very mm, an adequate answer, an enough one, then they will have another standby question for you. So they would ask about a transportation, maybe they would ask how. All right, they will ask how you came to school today, or you come to school every day. All right, so you got to prepare that. Just prep a few things. Okay, so let's try and come up with a few responses. So how can you respond to what's your name? How can you respond to what's your name? Can I have No Fatiha to respond? You can write in the room chat. Okay, I can just read it out after you have written your answer. So how do you respond to this? So if I ask you, what's your name? All right, so how would you respond? Would you respond? Okay, so here, okay, thank you, No Fatiha. So you mentioned, hello, my name is No Fatiha binti Azid. Okay, it's okay for you to have a surname, okay, to attach your surname, binti Azid. But if let's say your name is very long, right? If your name is very long, like my name, I am Husna Shaira binti Muhammad Zulkifli. That's very long, right? four four names, including my father's name, right? The surname. So if you have a short name, then you can try and say your full name. But if you have a longer one, maybe another name, right? No Fatiha, maybe, okay, just a fancy name, No Fatiha, just a fancy name, No Fatiha, Akila, right? For example, No Fatiha, Akila binti Muhammad Azim, for example. So that's very long. So we try and keep it short. Okay, but how short? Okay, I'll share with you how short. Okay, maybe I would try to have another student to give me his response. How about Hawkman or Alex Lim? How about you? How about you? How about you? How do you how do you introduce yourself? How do you introduce yourself? Okay, maybe you are taking your time, but it's okay. It's okay. Are you typing? I hope that you are typing. Okay, let me just move on. All right. So for your phase two, okay, I think he is typing. Okay, let's just move on to phase two. Now, phase two, it will be about yourself again, but focuses more on on what you do every day. So your daily routine. So they will ask you something, about an activity that you do after you wake up, and then something to do with after school. Do you have tuition? Do you have any sports that you like to do after you come back from school? And they would ask also, how do you spend your leisure time, right? What do you like to do? Okay, so make sure that you don't go as details as possible, because you have to remember you are only allowed to spend about 2 to 3 minutes on this part one. So when you try and mention about your leisure time, try and pick one activity and then explain about that. Okay, I love or I enjoy cooking, right? I enjoy cooking, and I love to do Malaysian dishes and something like that, just to get the groove for the next part of your speaking. Okay. Hawkman didn't provide any, or Alex Lim also. Okay, never mind, never mind. But I will also guide you as well. So again, they will also ask what activity would you do during the weekends as well? Please make sure don't go as detailed as in the morning I will do this, in the afternoon I'll do this, in the evening I'll do this, in the night I'll do this. Oh no. Okay, do not prolong the whole process. Just cut short everything. All right. So here is some of the ways. Okay, here are some of the ways that you can respond. Okay, let's see. First one. So how can we respond to what's your name? Yes, No Fatiha mentioned hello. My name is No Fatiha binti Aziz. Yes, you can say it that way. Okay, with a greeting hello. If let's say the interlocutor says a greeting salam, right? Assalamualaikum. So you have to respond wa alaikumussalam. My name is No Fatiha binti Aziz or No Fatiha. Okay, you can keep it simple as that, and you can call me no Fatiha if you are providing a long name. Okay. And you can also mention I am. I am No Fatiha binti Aziz. You may call me No Fatiha. All right. So in this case, if you want to use this phrase, okay, if you want to use this phrase here, you can call me or you may call me. Please make sure you prep your full name here. All right. So for No Fatiha, I already guide you just now. So my name is No Fatiha binti Aziz. You can call me No Fatiha. But for the other students, I hope that I can have few more examples. But if let's say you are shy today, okay, I can provide you mine. So like I said, my name is Husna Shaira, right? So it's very long, okay? But it's just two names only, right? So Husna Shaira. So I can mention my name is Husna Shaira. You can call me Husna, all right? So you can say it that way as well. Okay, then let's move on to the next one. Now, how would you respond to this part here? Now, you can call me, okay? Maybe no Fatiha, you have some nicknames like maybe I don't know, Teha or Fatty, right? Fatty. I mean like a posh name, Fatty, right? So instead of saying those, I would call it as baby names. Instead of that, you can refer to your name. Okay, please don't give Achi. No, you can call me Achi. Oh no, maybe this is your famous school name, like everybody know. Oh, Achi is this girl, or a boy is this boy. We know. No, we're not allowed to say this during our speaking test. Okay, so avoid saying all this. And again, your baby names, like we have a student here, Teha, right? No. Okay, do not try and provide this kind of name. Just provide your name, but a short one, a shorter one. Okay, so this is tip number 2. Now, tip number 3. Okay, this is about where you live or where you come from. Remember, listen to the question. If the interlocutor asks you about where do you live, so your response would be I live at, right? I live at Taman Keramat, Kuala Lumpur, if you are living here. Okay, here the same thing as well. I live in Kota Kemuning, Shah Alam. Okay, please respond to whatever verb that is um, asked by the interlocutor. If the interlocutor asks you, where do you come from? Okay, if she or he asks you about where do you come from, then you can mention I come from Pasir Gudang, Johor Bahru. Where is your birthplace? Okay, if you are coming from somewhere else other than Kuala Lumpur or Selangor, if you are at school here, okay, or you can also respond I am from Kota Baru, Kelantan. Okay, so make sure that you state your place of stay clearly. Okay, make sure that it is clear enough that uh, um, you are mentioning where you are at, or where do you live, or where you are coming from. All right, now next one is about your choice of words. Now, your choice of word, your word choice. Your word choice is also important as well. When you want to say at, when you want to say in, or when you want to say I come from or I am from, please make sure that you actually know what it means. So that's why parts of speech is very important. This is actually a preposition. So at is somewhere that is within. Okay, that is within, I can say. All right. So when we talk about the Taman Keramat, it's inside that taman. Sorry, at. It's inside that Taman Keramat. Okay, but when you are saying that I live in Kota Kemuning is big. It can be somewhere here. Okay, I'm drawing like a nucleus now. Okay, so I live in Kota Kemuning. So Kota Kemuning is big enough, right? Kota Kemuning is big enough, and you are somewhere around around here. Okay, Kota Kemuning, and this is to compare. This is Shah Alam. Okay, so this is Shah Alam. This is Kota Kemuning area. Okay, Kota Kemuning. And your home is somewhere here. Okay, there's a taman in this Kota Kemuning place. If you are going to say I come from Pasir Gudang, make sure that you state clearly your birthplace if you are from there. All right, so please make sure that you state clearly on where you are at. Okay, moving on. Next one. If the interlocutor asks you about how do you come to school, so listen to the question that is asked. So how? So you have to provide an answer, whether it can be a transport or it can also be the action. Okay, so in this case we have transports. In this case we have an action. How do you come to school? So if you say I walk to school, it's okay. But if you want to try and be from basic to intermediate, you can say um, I I uh, I go on foot. Okay, I go on foot, but this one is rarely used. Okay, I go on foot to school. All right, so this is to say that you are walking to school. All right, then here also again a specific information about who sent you to school, either your father or your mother or a Grab driver. Okay, so state clearly who and how in his or her car. Or if let's say you are on a motorbike, then you can say motorcycle. Or if you are taking the bus, then you can say I take the bus to school every day, because the question focuses on present tense. Okay, present tense. So it's talking about what you do on a daily basis. Okay, so when you do it on a daily basis, focuses on present tense. So please make sure that you do not include any past tenses, like I came to school. Okay, if the interlocutor asks you a past tense question, then you can respond to a past tense question. Okay, you can respond to that. All right, but in this case, it focuses on the present tense. How do you come to school? Do you come to school by foot? Do you come to school with your mother? Then you can respond either yes or no. But don't just try and provide just yes or no? Try to explain a little bit. No. So if you are saying no, okay, if let's say the question asks, do you come to school with your sister, for example, right? The question is something like this. Then you can say yes or no, then explain a little bit. No, I came with my father. Something as simple as that. So keep it simple and sweet as well. Okay, now moving on to next one. Okay, if let's say you are asked about, no, this is phase two already. Okay, you are asked about what do you normally do after you wake up? So you got to think of activities. You know, what do you do after you wake up? Or if let's say they ask you another question, what do you do every morning before going to school? So you got to think of what did you do in that particular morning, right? Obviously, you will have to say after I wake up, right? After I wake up, you bathe or I take a warm shower. If you want to keep it simple, you can say after I wake up, I bathe. Okay, are you going to tell the interlocutor the whole story like this song? You know, um, bangun pagi, gosok gigi. Are you going to say, or are you going to sing during your speaking test? No, definitely. So, are you going to tell these whole details? Are you? Are you going to tell the whole details of what you do before going to school? Like you bathe, you brush your teeth, and you take your warm shower, and I get dressed. Then you take your breakfast. Are you going to tell that to the interlocutor? Yes or no? Are you going to tell that? Yes. Okay. Again, remember no Fatiha, your time limit. Okay, remember your time limit. So if you are allowed to say all this list of activities, then please make sure you keep it clean. Okay, you keep it clean. How? Okay. When it comes to bathing, everybody knows that bathing involves washing your face, washing your hair, brushing your teeth. Okay, so it involves all of it in the bathroom itself. Okay, so you can say bathe and then you can say you get dressed. Okay, so if you like to use this, okay, after I wake up, I bathe get get dressed get dressed to my uniform or something like that. Or you can keep it simple. Okay. No, Fatia. Okay, how many? Sorry, how much? Okay, how much or how many minutes? Okay, you are given for this is only part one. Okay, part one, you are only given about 2 to 3 minutes to talk. 2 to 3 minutes to talk. Not long. It's not long. All right. So try to keep it simple. Keep it simple, short, and sweet. Kiss. Okay. So keep it simple. So I bathe and get dressed. I bathe and get dressed. Then, if you want to tell more, then I have my favorite. Oh no. Okay, let me rewrite the whole thing properly. Okay, for you to see. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay, let me just remove. Okay, I bathe and get dressed. Then, okay, this is just to show the after. Okay, after these two are done, then I have my favorite breakfast, which is Cocoa Crunch. Yeah, you can say that too. Cocoa Crunch and milk. Oh, can you see? Okay, and milk. Okay, I hope that you can say. So you can say that This is just to emphasize a little bit more about your favorite breakfast. So, which is cocoa crunch and milk. All right. So you can say that as well. But if, let's say, you do not prefer to say this, you can also say this way too. Every morning before going to school, I have my breakfast, right? I have my breakfast. Or you can also say, eat my favorite cereal and drink a cup of hot Milo or a glass of orange juice. Or if you are not a fan of Milo, then if you're a fan of coffee, then you can say coffee or tea. Okay. Or if you don't drink at all, if you don't take breakfast at all, just think of something. Okay, just think of something. All right, just think of something. Okay, no Fatiha. I hope that to the other students also, I hope that you uh preparing a few ideas for you to respond to this kind of question. Okay, normally, because when it comes to the word normally, okay, let me just highlight that. Okay, when it comes to the word normally, this is about your daily routine. What do you like to do every day, right? So think about what are the details that you can respond to this particular question. Okay, don't provide a whole list. Okay, no Fatiha. I bathe, I brush my teeth, I wash my face. Or okay, they don't want to know all of that, because when you say you bathe, we all know it's all in together. Okay, all right. Now let's move on to another question. Okay, if let's say you are asked on this one, okay, what do you usually do after coming back from school? So this question is asking after coming back from school. Okay, what are or is the activity that you do? So here the clue can be about the first thing that you do after coming home from school. So what do you do? Okay, think about that one activity. Okay, don't tell the interlocutor, I walk to school and I go karaoke. Oh no, the pronunciation for karaoke is Malaysian. That's Malaysian English. Karaoke. It's not karaoke. It's karaokeing. Karaoke. Yeah, that's how you pronounce karo, right? The Malaysians will love to say karoks. No, karaokeing. Okay, so think about the first thing that you do. So it's either you have your lunch, right? You can have your lunch, or you can also say, I take a nap. Or if let's say you think this is quite short, right? I have my lunch. So if you think this one is quite short, then you can explain a little bit more. After coming back from school, I have my lunch. That is prepared by my mom. Okay, so you can add on a little bit more if you are given, or if you spoke a little just now for the phase one. Okay, and for this one, if you want to say to take a nap, you can say how long you take a nap. So I take a nap about 30 minutes. That's very long. Okay, just to mention how long it is. So I take a nap about 30 minutes. Or if let's say you don't do any of this, taking lunch or taking a nap, just a short sleep, you have online tuition, right? So you can say, after coming back from school, I enter an online tuition class. If you want to emphasize, if you want to be specific, at where? At Tavis, right? If you say this, then it's fine. All right. If you think that you are given this question, what's the first thing that you do? Then you are to respond. The first thing I do, you can eliminate this, or if you want to say this, I'm fine. I think the interlocutor will be fine as well. All right. So no problem. But if you want to keep it short, you can say, the first thing I do is take a shower or eat my lunch prepared by my mother. Okay, the first thing, because the question asks you the first thing. Okay, so think about what's the first thing that you do. What's the first activity that you do after coming back from school? Okay, don't involve with the one that I said, just like karaokeing. Oh no. Okay, so this is just to show how you can respond to this particular question. Okay, now this one, if you see slashes here, this is considered or. Okay, so it's either one. It's either you want to say take a shower, or you either want to say um, I eat my lunch prepared by my mother, or prepared by my father or sister or brother, or you go to Pak Ali's restaurant to grab lunch, something like that, right? Because this is just for you to be comfortable for the next part. All right, so don't be too stressed up when it comes to this particular part. Okay, this is just for you. I can say just to stand by. Okay, just to stand by and make yourself really calm, and then only you get to the little more serious. All right. Now, moving on, I'm sure that you can answer this very well. For those of you who are here, I'm sure that you will do very well for your part one. Okay, this is still on part one. Okay, now if you are given a question about your leisure time, what do you enjoy doing? Okay, so think about that one particular activity that you enjoy doing. Or if you are given another question, like what do you do when you have free time? So think about the activity that you do, that you enjoy doing the most. So how you can respond to this. So these are some of the suggested responses. So according to the leisure time, you can say, I always spend my leisure time playing. Okay, this one is optional. Okay, you can switch it to whatever verbs that is to your leisure time. All right, so don't just take from my given word here. Okay, you can switch it to some other verb as well. Okay, so think about maybe I always spend my leisure time um, cooking, right? Cooking and baking cakes. So you can see here that you have a verb of cooking and another verb of baking, or in another part of grammar, this is actually called gerund. Okay, but this is just to differentiate. All right, so it doesn't have to be playing only. Okay, right? So again, you can use cooking, or you can use baking, you can use other verbs involved, or other gerunds involved. If you prefer to say listening, right? I always spend my leisure time um, maybe listening to my favorite music, right? On YouTube, or on Spotify, or you know something like that. All right, so you can say this as well. But if you are given a question of free time, then you got to respond this way. If I have free time, choose whichever. I sometimes, or I always, or often. Okay, whichever. Okay, whichever, but it follows on the frequency. How long do you spend for that particular activity? Okay, so in this particular example given. If I have free time, maybe you want to use sometimes. I sometimes watch a movie, right? Watch a movie with my friends or with my classmates. All right, so you can say this as well. If you feel like using the word go, then mention about the place that you go. I go to Pak Ali restaurant, right? Or I go to Starbucks, something like that, if you have free time. All right, so that is how you can try and provide your responses. So these are just suggested ones, but if you have something in mind, please make sure that you prep yourself with this kind of responses. Okay, so do not try and just mention that one particular word, like how do you spend your leisure time. If the interlocutor asks you that, then you will just say I like cooking. That's it. Oh no, do you think you will get a good score? No, I do not think so. So try your level best to always come up with an explanation or maybe an example. And for this one, you are listening to your favorite music on Spotify. Okay, you are being specific. Okay, so be specific in your responses. Now, next one. Okay, another sharing of the suggested responses. So if the interlocutor asks you about what you do on weekends, so think about what you do on weekends. So weekends can either be Friday, Saturday for certain states, Friday, Saturday, and for most of the states in Malaysia here, we have Saturday, Sunday. All right. So think about the activities that you do on weekends. And I have for you a few suggested responses, and you can reply this way. On weekends, I still have online tuition classes to attend. If your respond was about having online tuition class after you come back from school, and this is optional actually, this word here, but I'm just going to erase this. If you feel like you don't like the word still, then you can say on weekends I have tuition classes to attend. Or maybe if you want to be more specific, okay, to emphasize a little bit more, to put more details, on weekends I have online tuition classes of English and maths to attend. Okay, so you can involve these subjects if you have these subjects. Okay, but if you have more than two, much better that you keep to a maximum of 3 classes. Okay, so if you want to say English, maths, and science, then that's all. All right, but if you want to mention about a specific day, okay, a specific day, if the interlocutor asks you about a specific day on the weekend, so what do you do on Sunday, for example, right? So Selangor, Kuala Lumpur has Sunday off, right? So you can mention on Sunday, what do you do? In this case, I am providing you with, I spend time catching up with my parents and little sister. If you have siblings of a little sister or little brother, then you can mention this. If you are doing this, if you don't do this, if you are not doing it, then you can replace it. Maybe you can say on Sunday, I spend some time with my cousins. if you have a close by cousins around. So I spend time with my cousins and we go out and enjoy a nice lunch together. If you are doing this every Saturday or every Sunday or every Friday, it depends on whatever day. Okay, but if you don't do this at all, you go out, enjoy nice lunch together, or go jogging with family at the nearest park, either in the morning or evening. If you don't do all this, then think about at least one activity. Think of one activity. How about the rest of the class? How about Alex Lim? Alex Lim, what do you do? What do you do on Saturday? What do you do? Hok Meng, what do you do on a Saturday? And even No Fatiha, what do you do on a Saturday? Okay, let's keep it to that one day. So what do you do on a Saturday? Let's see how would you respond to this question. What do you do on a Saturday? What do you do? Okay, I hope that you are typing something in the chat box. All right, so think about one activity at least for you to try and respond to the question. So think of that one particular activity, then explain if you feel that it's not enough. Explain, or you can also provide example as well. All right, and here I have for you a suggested one, like you go jogging. So this is one activity, and you are providing another detail, my family, and again another detail, the nearest park, either in the morning or evening. So this person here, if you answer it this way, then you are good enough. You are providing a lot of vocabulary for your response. Okay, now let's move on to part two. Is there any question that you would like to ask? Any questions that you would like to ask? Any? Okay, if you don't have any right now, you can always type. Okay, you can always type in later on, then I will try and respond to you if we have time. Okay, now let's move on to our part two. Now, part two, like I said, is a little more serious. Okay, it's a little more serious because this is focusing on a particular candidate. So for this part, you are to respond to a question, and the question actually focuses on either past, present, or future experience, or you can also focus on describing people or describing places or situation as well. And it can also be about explaining and giving reasons or justifying opinions too. Now, for this part, this is actually for the last one, the later one. Okay, the later one where you need to try and provide reasons or to also justify an opinion as well. Okay, now moving on. For your part two. Okay, so this is a sample question. Now, for this particular part, there will be candidate A and candidate B, right? There will be two candidates. And the candidate A, you have got to listen to candidate B when he or she is speaking. But for candidate B, you got to listen to whatever candidate A is talking. So again, remember, candidate A when candidate A speak, okay, when candidate A speaks, then candidate B listens. Why she or he has to listen? Why? It's due to the interlocutor will actually ask you a question. So you got to listen. Okay, so whoever you are, whether it's A or B, listen to one another. Because when it comes to another question, okay, or another topic given to candidate B, then A will listen. All right, and you will have to respond to a question given by the interlocutor. So you have to be, you have to try and listen very actively during this particular part. Okay, listen very carefully. Please make sure that you pay attention during this part. All right, please make sure that you do that. So, I mentioned before for your part two, you will be given a topic and there will be some notes. So in this part here, your topic will be about something to do with a sport, something to do with a current issue. Maybe talk about vaccines, right? Vaccines, or maybe talk about anything to do with COVID, or anything to do with accidents. Okay, but this is just an example. So how do we do it? How do we respond to whatever notes given? So you can see there are notes given, and you got to respond to all of this. All of this. For how long? Teacher, for how long is this? So you get to spend around 3 to 4 minutes here. Okay, but you have to spare 20 seconds. So you will get a spare of 20 seconds to think about these ideas. Okay, the other day, in the other lessons, I always tell students to brainstorm ideas on paper, right? Because last few lessons we did on writing. So now you are not allowed to bring anything to the room, or to the hall. You're not allowed to, because this is just a speaking test. Okay, so in order to respond to this, you got to brainstorm in your mind right now. Okay, you got to brainstorm whatever ideas that you have in your mind right now. Okay, I just checked on the room chat here. Okay, no Fatiha, thank you for your response. Okay, on Saturday, I spent my time with learning something new, such as I learned how to use PowerPoint very well, and it actually helped me to improve my presentation. Okay, it's a little wordy. I know Fatiha. Okay, it's a little wordy. It's much better that you keep it concise. Maybe you could say on Saturday, I spend my time learning something new, okay, instead of saying such as, you can say like. Okay, like learning how to use PowerPoint. Okay, let me just write it. Okay, hold on. I will use a whiteboard. Okay, Fatiha, thank you so much for your response. Okay, now let's try. Okay. All right. So here you are going to respond to the phase two just now. Okay, on Saturday, I spent my time learning something new. Okay, don't worry about the spelling part because they're not going to focus on that. Okay, so this is good enough. Okay, on Saturday, I spent my time learning something new. Okay, you can use such as, or if you want to use a shorter version, you can say like. All right, but you are allowed to use this. Okay, such as I learned how to use PowerPoint. Okay, we don't try and add on this. Okay, this is an adverb because we want to just mention about using the PowerPoint. Okay, the whole content itself, or the whole topic itself, and make sure you just explain up until here. Okay, no need this one because you are providing a reason. It actually helps me to improve my presentation. Okay, so you can say I learned something new, such as I learned how to use PowerPoint. And okay, you can say uh, up until here. Okay, you can put a full stop here. It actually helps me. Okay, it's important for you to know your grammar. All right, it actually helps me to improve my presentation. Now, can you think of other words than improve? Can you think of other words than improve? Okay, come up with another synonym. Okay, you can also use enhance. Okay, you can use enhance as well. It helps me to enhance my presentation skill. Right? It's a lot better, don't you think? Right? It actually helps me to improve or to enhance my presentation skill. Okay? Because you are, stating the presentation, and presentation is actually a skill. So define that with this word. All right, Fatiha? Okay, thank you again for your response. So this is just to help you to try and cut short a few things. Okay. But are you doing this? Are you really doing this in your or on your Saturday? Yeah, okay, good. All right. So you can mention about this. Okay, this is very good because a lot of us know how to use PowerPoint, but when you try and do it every day, try and apply different things to the PowerPoint, you can improve your set of skills already. Okay, so again, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to part two again. Okay, so this is more serious. Okay, everybody, this is more serious. So you are to spare about 20 seconds only. So 20 seconds for this, and you are to speak about 3 to 4 minutes. And what can you speak about? So you have to mention about what the sport is, why it is popular, and do you like the sport? So you got to provide your reasons here. And why sporting events are important to the community. This is the closure. This is the closure where you you have to provide an opinion. Okay, you have to provide an opinion, or you can also provide a suggestion. All right, so here are the things that you have to put it on your head. Right, you have to try and come up with some sets of responses. Okay, so think about these questions. So how can we do that? Okay, don't worry. Okay, don't worry because I'm here to guide you. All right. Now, this is another sample question for candidate B. Maybe this is for candidate B, the other one is for candidate A. And you will receive different questions. All right. And you are not allowed to speak to one another while candidate A is thinking and providing the answers. Okay, this is not the part where you get to try and discuss. No. All right. So you got to think on your own, then you got to supply the answers on your own. And you are lucky enough if you get something to do with your experience, right? A memorable holiday. So right now you got to talk about a memorable holiday that you had at a local destination. Now think about a local destination. See the word local here. So only around Malaysia only. All right. So please make sure you have to think about that one particular location, like maybe Malacca or maybe Perak or Johor. Okay, so only to that local destination. Don't go and brag yourself saying that you went to London. Oh, content wise is already out because it's a different topic. Okay, be careful. Read the question carefully. Okay, word by word, you got to understand it. So, what are the notes that you have to prepare? So, you have to highlight where, okay, you got to think of where you went and what did you do and why. Okay, so provide a reason. Okay, keep it short if possible. Just come up with one reason why the holiday was so memorable. And if you think it's good for people to go on holiday at a local destination, think about it. Why or why not? Is it good for people to go on holiday at a local destination? So it's either a yes or a no. Yes or no, then explain and followed by example. Okay, so we can say for this particular part, right, for this particular part, we can say that Malaysia has a lot of attractive destinations like Malacca, Perak, Johor, Terengganu, and we can go to sandy beaches and it's breezy, something like that for you to try and close the whole speaking part. Okay, teacher already taught you yesterday with the TSC, with the IBC. Please make sure you have intro, your body, and your conclusion as well. Okay, and that's why I have already guided you for writing, and you got to apply those guidance in your speaking. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. I hope that the silence means no questionnaire. Okay. Now think about this. When you have that kind of question given with the notes given, plan the ideas with something like this. Okay, plan your idea first of all. So what was the sport? So just think about just one answer. Okay, what was the sport? Maybe badminton. But teacher, what if on the other on that day itself I go blank? Oh no. Okay. Always the interlocutor will ask you another question. Okay, if let's say you tell them, sorry teacher, I don't understand the question. Yes, you can say that, but it is not advisable to say I don't understand. All right, it's not advisable. Okay, so think about a sport. Okay, I know most of you will say, teacher, so nervous. Okay, try to keep yourself really calm. Think of maybe you are at the beach, or think about your favorite music at that time. Okay, then if you feel like you have calmed yourself, okay, then only you can start answering the question. But you are only allowed for how long? 20 seconds. 20 seconds only. It's not long. Okay, it's not long. So think about just one word only. Okay, so what was the sport? Badminton. So why is the sport popular? Uh, everybody, sorry, everybody enjoyed, right? Everybody enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Okay. Here, I said to you at least provide two reasons. Okay, maybe another one. Everybody enjoyed it and everyone keeps everyone fit and healthy. Okay, something relevant. Keeps everyone fit and healthy. Now, this particular question asking you about did you enjoy playing it? So this is your part right now. So you enjoy playing it? Yes or no? Okay, so think about your response. If yes, then why? You got to provide reason if yes. If no, also you have to provide reason. No, I didn't enjoy playing badminton because I don't like running. Okay, although it sounds ridiculous, but try to not provide that kind of ridiculous responses. Okay, it sounds silly at the same time too. All right, so think about a logical reason. Okay, something that is logical, right? Then try to conclude why are the sporting events important to the community. So you got to find out a general idea. Why do you think that it's important for the community to be involved in the sporting events? So think about it. Okay, you may say the community at the moment are unfit. Therefore, they need a lot more rigorous and active activity, something like that. Okay, and please make sure that you end your whole speaking for part two with saying this. That's all, teacher. Thank you. Okay, please mention at least something like this because we do not want the interlocutor feel a little lost with your part. All right, so please keep that in mind. You can say that's all, teacher, thank you, or you can also just keep it simple. You can say thank you. Okay, so that means that you have finished everything. I've finished with all your ideas already. Instead of, um, just mute yourself. No. Okay, at least give a cue for the interlocutor to understand that, okay, or this student has done, or this candidate has done with his or her part. All right, so finish it off this way. Okay, now we are already an hour for this one class. So we will take a break. All right, we will take a break and we'll resume with part three. Now, this part is the most important part of all because you have to involve your partner in. Okay, so I will see you back here in about 5 minutes. So we'll be back around 10:30. Okay, so we will see each other again at 10:30. All right, so get yourself refreshed. See you. 2 hour session. So just now we had done our part one and part two of the whole speaking test. And I hope that you have mastered it right now, because I would love that you try and at least study a little bit and then try to always prepare yourself. So, how can we try and get ourselves prepared? So, there's one thing that I like to tell my students how we can actually prep for part one and part two. Okay, so please remember to try and speak on your own. Try and speak alone if possible, because we want to know how well we can speak in front of someone later on. So for this particular part, we are going to talk to the interlocutor. So how we can do this alone? If you feel comfortable talking yourself to a mirror, then you can use a mirror. But if you feel that you are comfortable enough to record yourself, okay, try to record yourself. It's very important. Try record yourself and see how well you did for your part one and for your part two. And when it comes to a recording, you can actually look at the time. You can actually check the time, how long you will take for part one and also part two. And if you feel more comfortable, you can always speak with someone. Who is that someone? So it can either be your parent, or your mother or your father. If you are not shy, then maybe you can speak to your sister or your brother. All right. So they can be the interlocutor. So they will ask you questions and you will have to try and respond. So this is more like a role playing practice kind, rather than on the day itself, you're just going to go and do it. It's always better to try and prep yourself first before you begin with the whole speaking test. So right now, you are still left with one more week. So to do that, I know that you have a lot of papers, you have a lot of things to study, but at least just to prep on the notes, or just to prep on your ideas, what you can speak about during the speaking test. So please, please, please try to speak alone for few minutes for part one, and then few minutes on part two. And how long is that? Part one will be around 2 to 3 minutes, and then for your part two, it will be around 3 to 4 minutes. And the rest of other minutes is going to be spent for part three. All right, everybody? So now we are going with the whole part three. This is the most important part, where you are going to be discussing with your partner. Okay, so that's why it's very important for you to have the best partner possible, because if you feel that your partner is not going to talk so much, then he is going to lose mark or she is going to lose mark. But you yourself, yeah, you will think, oh, I will get a higher mark. Yes, but you have to know that it's not just about the marks, it's all about the whole cooperation for part three. So you have to remember, you got to all cooperate with your friend. You got to try and discuss with one another appropriately and clearly as well. So let's take a look at part three. Okay. Now, what is part three? So again, part three is all about the discussion. Okay. So what do you have to do? What does it focus on? And we have here is either to explain and give reasons, or it's either to exchange information and opinions, or to negotiate an agreement, or to make and respond to suggestions. Now, for this particular part, you will get to try to at least make suggestions, or you have to provide a reason for a particular topic. Okay, now let's take a look at how it is actually done. Okay, so this is the speaking process. And let's just recap on the timing. You are allowed to spend about 3 to 4 minutes for this particular part. All right. So the first part is where you have to discuss a topic together for, it's actually 2 minutes, and that extra 1 minute is for you to come up with your responses. Okay, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful with the whole timing, and usually the interlocutor will have a timer with them. So discuss maybe around 2 minutes, and then at least try and come up with some logical reasons, or some logical explanations, and then for the second part only, you will only have 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you will only have 1 minute each. Okay, 1 minute each. All right. So maximum for the first part, maximum minutes is 3 minutes. Okay, minimum would be 2 minutes, and you will get a minute each for candidate A, 1 minute for candidate B is 1 minute. So you got to elaborate on your points, on your ideas that you have on that one particular topic. Now, I wanted to share with you the question, and basically the question is all about current issues. Okay, so we can see that right now we are in the midst of COVID, and with the rising numbers, maybe the topic focuses on COVID-19, right? Maybe it focuses on that. If, let's say, it has nothing to do with COVID, maybe to do with something online, right? Maybe online class, or maybe online games, or it could be about something negative, like, okay, like what? Maybe it could be about students. Okay, students are getting tired, right? Getting tired of the whole online learning. Like previously, you all had the PDPR, right? And maybe some of you feel it's quite tough to be at home and study at home with your other siblings, right? So it may be about something to do with that. Students are tired, tiredness, or something to do with the PDPR, right? So something to do with that as well. Okay, it could be. Or recently, recently I read something about Malay speaking test. The topic was about marriage. Okay, so we could try and think of something like that too. It could be, right? It could be, or may not be. Okay, so what you can do for this particular part is try and read something that is recent. Okay, read something that is recent, recently happening, right? Maybe around Malaysia itself. So what's happening now? Or what's in the news now? Okay. Now, please make sure don't read anything about entertainment. Okay. I'm sure that the question will not be focused on celebrities. Um, mm, I don't particularly think that it would focus on celebrities. Okay, maybe it could be about something to do with entertainment. It could be something about entertainment, but I hope that there is no question asking about celebrities. Okay, because maybe one of you likes this guy, or this girl, or this boy band, or this girl band, right? So what I that's what I think. Okay, that's what I think. It's better to just find something that is in the recent news. Okay, so try and come up with try and read something about recent stuff. Okay, now come back to this. For the third part, this is where you will get an extra minute. Okay, an extra minute, just 1 minute on an extension question. And most of the question, well, only one question actually. So that one particular question will be about the topic that you are given. Okay, so the topic can be something, okay, like for example, why do people shop online, right? Why do people shop online? So let me just write it here. Okay, maybe the topic is about why do people shop online? And there will be a few cues. Okay, a few reasons, I can say, few reasons of why do people shop online. And I can say that it can be something to do with having of no no crowds, it saves time, right? So these are some of the reasons for people to shop online. So right now you got to try and think which reason is the best one. So that's when the discussion for the first part here comes in. Okay, the first part here comes in. So you got to discuss with one another. Okay, which one do you think is this one the best, or no crowds, or maybe to do with convenience, right? Maybe to do with the convenience. Okay, convenience, and another simpler term is simple, easy. Is it easy for everybody? Okay, so if you think that this one is the best and this one is the best, then discuss about these two. Come up with, again, explain, example. It's always this way. Explain, explain, and example. Okay, so you will try to discuss around 2 to 3 minutes with one another. So once you have done with the discussion, then only you are allowed to speak for 1 minute. Okay, so 1 minute for candidate A and another minute for candidate B. And you will get an extra minute to try and conclude, actually, to try and conclude with the whole decision that you made just now. Okay, so we got to try and I would say synchronize. Okay, synchronize our way of thinking. Do you think this one would be the best of the best, or this one would be the best of the best? Okay, so come up with a decision together. Okay, for this third part, here, come up with a decision together. All right. So what are the tips and tricks for you to know about this last one? So again, please make sure that you read and understand the given question thoroughly. Why am I using the word thoroughly? This is for you to make sure that you understand it clearly, you understand it really well, and you understand it fully. Okay? So please make sure that you understand the whole question. What is it? What does it want you to respond? And then make sure you identify the tense. Are you going to use present tense? Are you going to use past tense? Or are you going to use future tense? But in this case, for your speaking, you are going to apply the present tense. And also, you are going to apply the wives and the husband, right? The wives and the husband, which considers to be the WH question, the what, the who, the where, the when, and the why. And the husband is actually the how. Okay, so you are going to apply maybe not all of this, maybe at least two, like what or who, or maybe what and when, or what and where, and then another question of how. And another one, try to utilize the cohesive devices. Okay, for basic, maybe for a beginner, we love to use the word first and next or second, right? We love to use this. This is for beginner. But if you want to master, if you want to move from beginner to intermediate, it's much better that you try and apply. Oh, okay. Let me write this better. Okay. Then you can allow yourself to move, maybe starting from first, then you can say first of all, right? Or you can say, moreover, isn't that better, right? And then when it comes to the conclusion part, where you want to make a decision together for the conclusion, then only we can say all in all, in simpler term, all in all, or to conclude, right? So you can say this. Or if you feel like you want to express your opinion, okay, instead of saying I feel, you can switch it to I believe, right? It's much better rather than say I feel this one is the best because it is the best. Oh no. Okay, so that's why you need to have a very good partner to help you, to guide you, to assist you to come up with a decision. And please make sure to organize your ideas in order. So that's why it's very important for you to use the cohesive devices. Okay, if let's say you want to say something in contrast, you can say besides, in contrast. Okay, and please make sure before you end the whole speaking test, make sure you do this. Thank the interlocutor. It's respectful enough for you to do this. Okay. Now, what are the things that we have to avoid when you do your speaking? When you start speaking, silence. We have to avoid this. We have to avoid memorized answers as well, because this is going to look like you are acting. Like for example, my name is, and I stay at. Oh, it sounds robotic as well, right? It sounds robotic as well if you memorize your answers. Okay, it's much better that you play it naturally. Okay, you play it naturally, you play it spontaneously as well. But listen, okay, listen, pay attention to the words that come out from the interlocutor. Respond incorrectly. Please make sure that we don't do this. Okay, we don't do this actually. Okay, please do not respond incorrectly. Why? You're going to lose content marks. You're going to lose your CA marks as well. Okay, you're going to lose all of this. So please be careful. All right. Please stick to the topic. Stick to the topic given. And try to avoid saying, I don't understand. Try to avoid this because we do not want to make ourselves loss of words. Okay, we do not want that. And saying too much or too little as well. Remember your time. Remember this. Okay, if you say too much, it's going to affect your time. If you're going to say too little, it's going to affect your time as well. And it's going to affect your marks too. And please, poor pronunciation, we should avoid this. Why? Because you're going to lose mark on your language especially. So please be careful. If you think that you want to try some new words, please Google it up and try and check for pronunciation. So if let's say you want to find a word like this word here, okay, so like this word here, I'm not going to pronounce it yet. So you don't know how to pronounce this. So on Google, okay, on the Google search, then you can say sorry, you can write this, type this, and and pronunciation. Okay, add on this word. Okay, so type this in Google and see and hear what the mouth is saying. Okay, so how we should pronounce this? How we should pronounce this? Sophisticated. 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 What does it mean? Uh, it's just to say something that is uh, a little greater than what it is. Okay, like for example, you have a Porsche or you have a Ferrari, right? Those are sophisticated cars, right? And yeah, anyway, on Google, please try to type this word. Type this word in Google pronunciation. Then only you can practice. Practice on your own. If you find new words, if you want to use new words. Okay. Now, next part is it's gonna be a little long, all right, but I'll try and keep it short, sweet, and simple for you. Now we are going to do a bit of recap on your grammar and vocabulary. I hope that you have a spare of pen and paper with you. I hope so. So let's recap on your tenses first. Okay, tenses are to be the most important part, even in Bahasa Melayu as well. If you say something that is in the past, then make sure that you use a correct vocabulary for whatever that is in the past. If you are going to speak something in the present tense, okay, in the present, at the moment, right now, then you have to use vocabulary that is appropriate enough for the present time. Okay, tense is just to show about time. Okay, so first of all, we do know that there are a few types of the present tense. So we have simple present, we have present continuous, and we have present perfect. Okay, this is what you have learned so far during your form 5. Okay, so here a simple present tense formation. How should you form a sentence? And basic way of doing this is separating the subject, the verb, and the object. We do know that the verb and object is the predicate, right? So subject, verb, and object. We need this. Okay, object doesn't mean object. Object is just to show what you do or what you have in the later part. In this part here, I is the subject, verb will be play, and the object will be basketball. All right, so the object is the basketball. So I play basketball every weekends. He often spends his time at the cafe. So he is the subject, often is actually adverb, and this is the verb, and spending his time at the cafe, time is object. Okay, so there you go. If you want to use an adverb is just to show how long something is done or how frequent something is done and where it is done also. You can use always, right? You can use sometimes. You can even use never. So these words are considered adverbs, and you have to arrange in a particular order. And for this part, make sure that you put it after the subject. So he always spends or he sometimes spends. Why do I have S here? Because singular. The subject here, Okay, now the subject here is singular. So that's why it has to match with singular verb. All right. Now, let's move on to present continuous. I'm just going to do this quickly. All right. So present continuous. When it comes to present continuous, you need your verb to be. Okay, it's in the present, so we are applying the am, is, and are. When it comes to the subject of I, okay, this is a subject of I, then it has to match with am. I am, then your verb here, okay, your verb here, you need to add ing. Now you can see it here. I am playing basketball, and you are emphasizing the time, which is now. So whatever happened at the moment or right now, okay, right now or now itself, okay, at this time, you can use present tense. I am guiding you right now. I am teaching you right now. You are listening to me, right? You are listening to me now. Okay, so we are adding on a little time here to show that it's in the present continuous tense. All right, then moving on to the next one. He is spending his time at the cafe at the moment. So this is to show again another time at the moment. So he always match it with is, and then the spending with ing. He is spending. All right. Moving on to present perfect. Now, present perfect is a little confusing to maybe a few of you, and we have to actually use the verb to have. And your verb here is totally different. Totally different. Now, what do we use? What do we use? We use the participle. Whoopsie. Okay, we use the participle form. All right, we use the participle form. Okay. Now, firstly, we'll look at this one sentence. I have played basketball before. And again, emphasizing the time to show that it happened in the past, but you still do it now. Okay, so that's what present tense is. You have done that before, but you are also doing it now. Okay, so I have played basketball before, but this action here, stop, right? Don't you think so? I have played basketball before, right? But if let's say there is another addition, okay, then there's another addition of idea. I have played basketball before I I came here. So it means that this person has played basketball, in the before time. In the before time, when he reaches this place, he played it. Okay, he played basketball. Now, according to this next one, he has spent his time at the cafe. Now, look closely. This one is a plural form. This one is the singular form because we are using he. So he has spent his time at the cafe. So we know now the action has stopped, right? The action has stopped, but we are, okay, maybe I can show you a bit of a timeline. So this is the past, okay? This is the past. This is the future. This is the present. So it's actually in between here with the past and the present at the same time. It has stopped, but we are continuing it in the present too. So he has spent his time at the cafe. So you can see in between the past and the present, but it's not in the past. It's not in the past at all. So it's in between the past and the present. Okay, I hope that you can grasp this. Okay, now when it comes to this verb here, the participle form, um, we have few spellings difference. Okay, like for example, the base form of go, and then the past tense. Okay, this is the base form, or the basic structure, or the basic word for it. And then we have the, or maybe I could just keep it there, BF. And then we have the past tense, and then we have the participle form. So go, went, and gone. Drink, drank, and drunk. Okay, this is not a drunk as in like someone has drank a lot of alcohol. No, no, no. Okay, this is the verb. This is the action. Okay, so drink, drank, and drunk. Even with the word swim, swim, swam, and swum. Fly, fly, flew, and flown. Okay, so you can even guess that a lot of the sound, right? A lot of the sound will end with n. Okay, so these are some of the verbs. Now you can have a look. You can just Google it up and find out about verbs. Okay, find out about verbs. Okay, so you can look that up. Okay, next one we are going to look at past tense. Now past tense, again, the word here is simple, so we keep the sentences simple. And you can see the verb ends with ed. Now this one we call it as the regular verb. Now this one, it changed from the base word of meet. So this one we call it as the irregular. Irregular, it means it's not common. Okay, it's not the one that we are familiar with. So a lot of the verbs will end with ed. So here we jumped on the bed. And for if you want to use like bathe, then we just add d, bathe. And if you want to use some irregular ones like meet, then met. Drink, drink, drank. So make sure in your speaking you pronounce clearly that it is actually meant for past tense. Next one, past continuous. Remember, I mentioned just now for present, we are using verb to be, but this is in past tense form. Okay, and for plural, we use we, they, and we can also use you as well. And you can also use names, but make sure that you have two names or a group of people. Okay, now we were jumping. So make sure you match with were. So we were jumping. She was meeting. So this is singular verb, and it has to match with singular subject. So she, he, and it, or you can switch this to a name, but make sure it's just one name. Like Tom, Lisa, Sarah was meeting her friends. All right. And then the past perfect. So we have the subject, and this is the verb to have. Okay, so verb to have, you switch it to had. All right, to show past. And again, the verb will remain as the participle form. So subject, verb to have, We switch it to had, and then the verb and the object. And let's see the sentences. So we had jumped on the bed a while ago. Just to stress on time. Stress on the time. She had met her friends. If you want to put in a time, before. When you use past perfect, according to the timeline, it's considered in the past. Okay, it's considered in the past. It happens here, and it stops. It stops here only. It doesn't go to present, or it doesn't go to the future at all. All right, moving on to the next one. Okay, we don't have much time now. So for future tense, please make sure that this is for the future. What's going to happen. Okay, focus on what's going to happen soon or what's going to happen later. Okay, so here I have for you some simple sentences. The dog will run. Now I am adding on the word will. And here also people will listen to him. And for future continuous, I am adding on the be. So subject will be and verb ing. Oh no, this is a lot, teacher. Yeah, I know. But don't worry. I have for you some sample sentences. So here I have the dog will be running outside with me. We are saying that at that particular time, the dog will be running. Okay, and this one too, people will be listening to him. So we are expecting that people are going to listen to this particular person. Okay, so will be listening. And for future perfect, now this is a little confusing, all right, but just to put it in a simpler term, okay, simpler form. So subject, then you will use the will have. Any perfect tenses, we always use the verb to have. Then you have your verb and you have your object. Okay. Now, here it says the dog will have ran outside by tomorrow, and by 10 o'clock, people will have listened to him. Now, for future perfect tense, okay, let's just draw the timeline. So this is the future, this is the past, and this is the present. Now, when it comes to future perfect tense, it has something to do with with all the time. All right. Okay, with all the time. So you can see here that it is in the future. Okay, maybe I use a different color. It's in the future, and it's also have run. So it's in between the past, it's in between the past as well. Okay, we'll have ran outside by tomorrow. But this is, okay, to keep it simple, but this is to actually tell the whole story, okay, of this part here. You are expecting that action to be done, to be finished, or to be completed by this time, or by this time. Okay, you are expecting. Okay, I can say this. You are expecting people to do this. You are expecting your mother to do this and finish this, or of whatever she is doing, or whatever this particular dog is doing. Okay, we are expecting. All right, I hope that I can give more explanation, but again, I'm keeping the time. Okay, few more. Okay, again, with the cohesive device, now you can find it up in Google as well. Okay, if you want to add on a few ideas, you can use and, you can use as well as, or if you want to stress a little more, you can say another point is, if you want to compare, you can use likewise or similarly or if you want to say equally, also okay. And if you want to use a sequencing, to arrange your ideas, first of all, right? I introduced that just now. Okay. If you are illustrating, providing example, then you can use few of these words. Okay. I hope that you can catch this. And some of the descriptive vocabulary, you can use all of this. I also introduced this, a few words for your review, right? Remember your writing, you have a review, so you can use a lot of these words as well. You can use all of this too for anything to do with delicious or kind or bad or small. All right. Petite. This is petite. Huh? Petite. Mini. This is minute, not minute. Minute. So very, very small. Okay, tiny. Okay. Then next, we have few more descriptive vocabulary as well. Okay, here I have for you admire, for the word love, for the word rich. If you are talking about wealthy or someone, with lots of money. Okay, deep pocketed. You can use that too. And you can say, if you feel like someone is funny, you can say amusing or comical. All right, gleeful. Okay, then big. It depends on the size, whether is it towering or is it huge or is it large. All right. Now I have a sample video for you to show. Okay, just few short clips. Okay, maybe you can take a look at here. All right, this is from Farharit and Farhan. Okay, take a look at it first. Okay, so I'll be with you in 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so I hope that you had listened to a few things of how the whole process is. Okay, so this is just one sample for you to look at, and you can also find on YouTube. Okay, for this clips. Okay, I have for you another one as well. Okay, so these are the interlocutors. So you have two interlocutors. Okay. Now, sorry. So this is just to explain to you. Just now was between Farid and Farhan. That one is the level from basic to intermediate. But if you want to go to a more intermediate to advanced, this is the best clip for you. So you can find it on YouTube for Anas and Tanisha. All right. So I would like to share this with you to at least let everybody knows how the process is. But we don't have much time. So again, you can do your own research, and I will see you again tomorrow for another part of our paper. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you. Thank you all for listening to me and responding to the questions that I posted. And again, please take care of yourself, and I will see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you, No Fatiha. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.